What's up, guys? Welcome back to Inside the 20. We've got some stuff planned for you guys today. Ethan's got the highlights playing in the background, and that's in place of Ryan's face not being Ryan's beautiful face not being on the camera today. He's having technical difficulties. He's just stupid. Okay, so first we're going to be talking about the USFL because it sucks. If we're being quite honest, here's why it sucks, Ryan, and you and I can attest this. Ethan, we'll get Ethan some talking points later when we do NBA playoffs, but
yeah,
because we had to explain to Ethan what the USFL is, it would be better if it's just Ryan. So, Ryan, I think the USFL sucks because, and it's not to the fault of the USFL. It's really not. It's really to the fault of the NFL because they've just, had control of the market for so long that no one else is able to even come close to its massive outreach. So the talent gap is just so big in the USFL. It's really hard for it to gain footing and get players that aren't just college, stars who are now looking for a part-time job at Walmart. So, Ryan, why do you think the USFL sucks? Or do you think
that's I do think it's in the middle, but I do think it's worse than it is good because like you said, you got players that are coming from Walmart to play in the USFL. I feel like it wouldn't even be that hard to play in the USFL, and for that reason, it's just not as good as the NFL, and nothing will ever compare to the NFL.
No, and that's, obviously I say it's to the fault of the NFL. To the NFL, it's a win, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're making billions upon billions of dollars because of that. And because every league that has tried to start up has failed, XFL, that wasn't really to the fault of the XFL. The XFL actually I thought was pretty solid there for a little bit. It was gaining some footing, and then COVID just, there it was. But with the USFL, it's going to take some time for it to gain its footing. But, it's football, and football is football. And so if football is football, Drew and Ryan will probably watch it. So, Ryan, I know you watched some games this weekend. Can we kind of discuss the results? What did you see from these games? Like, Saturday night, the New Jersey Generals and the Birmingham Stallions played. That was a great game. And you watched it. What did you see from that game that you really liked? What did you see that you didn't really like? We'll use that one as an example because that was really the only game worth anything, in my opinion, that I saw anything of.
So, I watched some of it. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't watch all of it. I got bored. That's how, bad it was.
That's,
But it was probably the best game, too, which is why, I don't even know. It's just,
I will say there was
a mixture of... Go for it.
There was, that one play where, probably the best play of the weekend, that one-handed catch in the end zone, behind that one-on-one situation.
You saw the first play of the season where the Generals went deep. You think right there it's going to be good, and then the game just fizzles out and nothing good really happens throughout the rest of the game. And then you're just seeing constant, poor quarterback play. Absolutely atrocious quarterback play from almost every single team.
Right. I think atrocious play overall unfortunately for my Pittsburgh Maulers. Yeah. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Maulers, there has been a situation, and I'm going to make sure that I get this right, but my understanding, there was a running back for the Pittsburgh Maulers, Davion Smith, and supposedly he got cut off the team because I guess they were serving chicken salad in the cafeteria, and he wanted pizza, and he brought pizza. Coach Kirby Wilson was like, hey, man, you needed to eat the chicken salad with the team. He was like, nah, I want to eat my pizza, and they cut him. And we're like, whoa, in the NFL, if you say, Coach, I want pizza, they're like, okay, big man, eat your pizza, Aaron Donald. But, in the USFL, it seems like we said, these players are coming from probably, middle-class jobs, right? And that's a good thing. But then there's also this, where they're not being treated like they're superstars quite yet, because frankly they're not. supposedly this guy Davion Smith was supposed to be really good. I did watch some of the Maulers game last night. It was pretty atrocious of a game. But I did watch some of it, and it seemed like the Maulers were trying to take more of a run-first approach. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for him. It really, really didn't work out for him. I think they had 3 running backs have a total of 30 attempts, and they had 64 yards total. So they're averaging about 2 yards per carry. And that is that's some Najee Harris stats right there. So I say that to say you really just cut this guy for wanting to eat pizza, and he really could have contributed to your team. It's just, for me, they're trying to gain footing, and they're not doing a good job of it. So far, I really am not liking what I see from the USFL, and I really, truly don't think it'll last. It's really hard for these leagues to gain their footing, to gain, traction, and really get going. Even though these games are on ABC5, they're on Fox 4, but that doesn't mean every league will fizzle out. I think eventually when the XFL comes back, I think they'll probably actually do a decent job. I thought they were doing a decent job when they were before they got knocked by COVID. They're just gonna have to get back on their feet. The Rock took over. But in my opinion, the USFL is gonna last for 2-3 years and fizzle out, just like the rest of the leagues. And if it doesn't, it's never gonna reach the standards of the NFL. And this situation with the Maulers really isn't helping its case, especially considering it happened in week 1. What do you think about that, Ryan? Do you think this league's going to last?
Well, one reason I think the XFL will last longer than the USFL is because the XFL is directly partnering with the NFL to like develop players, and I guess they're going to kind of use it as, I guess, a G League, like you could say, for the NFL. Sure. And so there's that, and the USFL is literally just going to be like 40-year-old dudes or Division II college dudes that are just trying to make a living somehow, and I don't think it'll last as long as. I don't even know if it'll last more than 3 seasons.
That's what I'm thinking. I really don't think, and like I said, if they keep having issues like this, I just don't think. And like, really, of course, Pittsburgh has to be the poverty franchise. Like, let Drew get 1 win.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
What is the was it USFL?
Mm-hmm.
And then what does that stand for, the XFL?
So, obviously, the USFL is the United States Football League. There actually was, a little bit of history for you guys. There actually was, the USFL is it's like a reincarnated league. So, basically, it was a league back in the 1980s.
Okay.
Fun fact, most of the teams are similar, just different cities, but they have most of the same nicknames. Fun fact, the New Jersey Generals were at one time in the 80s owned by Donald Trump.
What?
The USFL is the newest, starter. Like, you think of in the NBA and also hockey leagues, there are successful developmental leagues and minor leagues. Football's never really, Ethan, had a successful one. The XFL was a league that started up in they had like a little run in the early 2000s, but I want to say it stands for like the Extra Fun League, which is so stupid, but they restarted in 2020 or 2019.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
or spring of 2020, but like the idea came in 2019. And to start off, there were a lot of players who came from the NFL. To start off, the XFL was super entertaining. Like, I was really intrigued. Dallas had a team. Dallas does not have a USFL team. They had the Dallas Renegades. I had a friend that went to a game, said it was super fun.
I went to a game.
You went to a game?
It was great.
A lot of fun. A lot of actually good players, right? Actually had a few players go and play in the NFL after it was, unfortunately, the league got canceled because of COVID and never came back. But The Rock bought it, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and he plans to reinstate it eventually. I think he's trying to just figure out the financials, but it's gonna come back. I just thought it, like, even from week 1, I can already tell the XFL is a better run league and it's a better it's going to function and run for a longer period of time. So,
I completely
yeah.
agree.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if the coming weeks, and we'll also be talking about the USFL a little more. I think, Ryan. I think that's probably something we can do. Talk a little bit. Obviously, baseball and hockey playoffs are coming up, which we'll talk about week after next. But yeah, from week 1, it doesn't look good. Could definitely change. Things can happen. Things can change. This could be a learning experience, this Mahler situation. This could be a learning experience. The league could, bounce back really well. We just have to see. We're going to keep an eye on it, obviously, because it's football. But we'll just have to see. So, obviously, the other big thing right now, the other topic we're going to spend the rest of this episode on, because there's so much to go into, is the NBA playoffs, which have really started off with a bang. So, let's go ahead and, if Ethan... And when you're editing, obviously, if you'll pull this up, the bracket up on the screen.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Western Conference first. I've got a visual right here. So we've got the Suns and Pelicans, the 1 and 8 in the West, and then we've got the Mavericks and Jazz. Mavericks are the 4 seed, Jazz are the 5 seed. Golden State Warriors are the 3 seed, playing the 6 seed Denver Nuggets. And then there's obviously the Memphis Grizzlies and Minnesota Timberwolves. Memphis being the 2 seed, Minnesota being the 7 seed. Now, if we go to the East, we have the Miami Heat, the very unexpected 1 seed in the East, playing the very unexpected 8 seed in the East, the Atlanta Hawks. Everyone thought the Hawks were going to take a jump. Everyone thought the Heat were kind of going to stay in that mid-range, but both teams surprised. One, obviously, a little more disappointing than the other. Then we have the 76ers being the 4 seed, Raptors the 5, Milwaukee Bucks being the 3 seed, Chicago Bulls being the 6 seed, and then last but not least, which definitely not least because this series might be the best of them all, the 2 seed Boston Celtics versus the 7 seed Brooklyn Nets. So first, let's go back over to the West. Let's go down on this graphic that I'm looking at, down in the West first, down in the East. So first, let's talk about Phoenix versus New Orleans. To me, this game is not a contest. This is a 4-game series. Phoenix should sweep. What do you guys think?
I think Phoenix is going to sweep as well.
Yeah, I
I'm
got the
with you
same
on
thing.
Phoenix should
We're all on
sweep.
the same page.
So, here's why. Devin Booker and Chris Paul are back. Devin Booker's an MVP candidate. Let's just face it. This team is insane. This team is my pick to win the finals. Spoiler alert. They came back with a vengeance after last year. And then the Pelicans, the West play-in was besides Minnesota, was very low end. I think that this team was just bound to lose to the Suns. I really don't think like good for you, for making it into the playoffs, but unfortunately, I don't really think they're going to stand a chance against the Phoenix Suns. I think the more interesting series is the 4 seed Dallas Mavericks versus the Utah Jazz. Now, this series would be, I think, a little probably shorter if Luka was playing in every game. He's hopeful to come back game 3, but so far the series is split 1-1. What have you guys seen from the Mavericks that's really impressed you? I know I've seen a lot. Want to hear what you guys think.
Ryan, you want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
I think, like you said, with Luka, it'd be a lot quicker of a series. But I'm impressed at how quickly they adapted to playing without Luka. That was pretty cool to see, and they had multiple players dropping crazy stat lines.
Jalen
I don't know,
Brunson.
just really, yeah, it just shows that they're able to they're not, Luka isn't the guy holding them, like the string holding them all together, even when he's
The
not there,
puppet
they can still
master,
perform. Yeah. So he's still able to or the team's still able to go and perform at a high level. I think that's what impressed me the most, and I think it's actually giving them leverage in the series. You know what I mean? The fact that it's oh crap, they're able to beat us without their superstar. You know what I mean?
So when their superstar comes
Yeah,
back, it's over.
Exactly. That's the vibe I'm getting from it. But what do you think, Ryan?
I'm thinking the same thing. Brunson has been playing ridiculous. He was the leading scorer in the first game and the second game. And let's see. I do have the Jazz winning one more game, but I have the Mavs winning in 6.
I respect
But I
that.
think with yeah,
But something we got to talk about though is Utah was at one point the #1 team in the league this season, record-wise. Granted, it was early on. What happened?
Right.
What happened? I
Right.
think there's a lack of chemistry or a fault line that's unfortunately forming between Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell.
I was about to mention
And
that. That's the one
yeah,
thing that I thought of because, like, I think it was Donovan Mitchell in an interview was like, "We don't have any beef." He said something. It was very like, almost like how you give someone a backhanded like compliment. It was kind of like that. So he was like, he said they didn't have any beef or anything, but at the same time, it's like, okay, so you can tell that there's, I don't know, I can just tell that there's kind of like maybe some frustrations on like who's the top dog on the team. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm not saying that as fact, but if I had to guess, that would be it.
yeah, absolutely, I agree. And I think that's just causing some turmoil. And I think because of that, one of them is probably going to be gone after the season, especially if they lose to the Mavericks first round. So I think that I've got the Mavericks winning in 5, actually. Or actually, no, sorry, 6. I had them winning in 6. So
Me too.
I have Phoenix in 4, Mavericks in 6. Golden State versus Denver, Warriors versus Nuggets. I have the Warriors in 4.
Ooh.
What do you guys
Okay.
have?
I think here I'm gonna have to pull up my my thing, but I'm pretty sure I either have 4 or 5. I know that.
I've got them in 4.
Let me see what I have.
I just think Denver's too weak this season.
No, I don't. I got them in 5. Got the
Sorry, I
Warriors
need
in
to go to
5.
my email. Sorry guys, I'm unprofessional.
Here's the thing: is I would have had them in 5 if the Warriors didn't obliterate the Denver Nuggets twice, embarrass
Yeah.
them. Granted, it was an away game, but I mean, it was both of them were 20-point games. So like, I really don't think they stand a chance at all. And it's unfortunate because, I mean, it's kind of like what you see with. I feel like the Nuggets are a really, really good comparison to last year's Mavericks. They have the one superstar. Obviously, they have another superstar out. That's different. But they have their one superstar, and everyone else is just not contributing. They're trying. Monte Morris has been playing all right. Michael Porter Jr.'s gone. Jamal Murray's gone. They don't have their other main contributors, and the guys that are there are just not, playing up to the expectation that they should. So unfortunately, this is just not the Nuggets' year, and I think it's a sweep. Because the Warriors do look really good. On the opposite end of the spectrum, the Warriors look great. I mean, they look like they could make a championship run. Now, I think they're going to the Western Conference Finals. I've got that in my playoff bracket here. So
that's valid.
yeah. So and then last but not least, I've got Memphis. I'm sorry, I've got Minnesota beating Memphis in 7. I think this might be the most interesting series in the first round of the West. I truly do. You have 2 extremely young, inexperienced teams battling it out. First game was really tight down to the finish. And I just think Minnesota has the edge because they do have a little bit of veteran experience with Pat Beverly. And I really think that they have, when Cat, has his bad game or two, which he will, then D'Angelo Russell, who's, let me just say, has matured so much from when he was in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah.
From that point, like I really like him, and I'm just really proud of him. And then Anthony Edwards, who
he's crazy.
I don't know what it has come upon this new generation, but this new generation of basketball players who just have zero fear in their, like, it's just not a part of their body. LaMelo Ball being one of them too. Trae Young. Like, they just have no ounces of fear in their body. I feel like Anthony Edwards is the same way. He gives no craps, and he just goes out there and shoots the ball every night. Like, he's gonna be a superstar if he isn't already one. Like, this is a bold statement. I think he's gonna be better than Cat for the Minnesota Timberwolves in the future.
Oh, 100%.
Well, Cat's supposed to be that guy, and he has been, but he's never gotten them over the edge. I think Anthony Edwards is that guy to get them over the edge. And I think D'Angelo Russell's a great point guard. He's more of a combo. I think the best starting 5 for Minnesota is Patrick Beverly at the 1 because you need that defense, and then you have D'Angelo at the 2 who's going to make great shots for you and things like that. Anthony Edwards on the wing, and then what's his name? Crap, I just lost his name. is it Beasley, right? Or Vanderbilt, one of the two. I forget who plays the 4. And then Cat at the 5. I think that's a great starting 5. And I think that's what they've been running. But
Yeah.
regardless, I think Memphis, I mean, they have great chemistry. Like I said, it's going to be a great series. I just feel like Minnesota has the edge. I don't know why. I just have an inkling that Minnesota's got the edge in the series. Memphis is going to get there at some point, though. Memphis will get them a chip at some point. It's just I don't think it's yet. I mean, they play well without Ja. That's not something that you can say. So, I don't know.
I actually have Memphis winning in 6. I know that's.
Hey, me too. Let's go.
Wait, really? Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know. For some reason I just suspect that they're gonna pull out. Like.
I mean, they play
Pause.
tonight is the tonight is we're filming this on Tuesday night of the 19th, so they actually play tonight, and
So
it's
we'll
in
see.
Memphis, and that's the thing. Minnesota beat them in Memphis, so if they beat them again in Memphis,
Yeah, it's not looking good if they do.
it's
But you
I
never
mean
know.
you don't like last year the Mavericks and the Clippers. Neither of them won a home game until Game 7.
That's crazy.
It's pretty weird, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So then my bracket goes like this. I'm not gonna I don't have the games here, like the how many games it took, but I have I'm pretty sure I had Phoenix versus Dallas, the Suns versus the Mavericks. I think I had Phoenix sweeping. And I love my Mavericks. It's just like Phoenix is just so good. And they have, they really look like they have no mercy this season. And then I have Golden State beating Minnesota. I'm pretty sure I had that in 5. And then Golden State and Phoenix, Suns versus Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. I'm pretty sure I had Suns in 7. And then Suns to the finals. And then going over to the East, we'll go ahead and get into our first round matchups. So got the Heat
want us
versus the
to-
Hawks.
Let's do our second round. Like, give ours.
Yeah, y'all tell me your entire West.
All right, Ethan, you go
bad.
first.
Okay. I had Phoenix and Dallas, and I actually have Dallas in 6. Okay. pretty crazy.
Wow.
I'm feeling bold. I have Dallas in 6, and then I have Golden State beating Memphis in 5, and then I have Dallas and Golden State, and I have Dallas in 5.
That's
That
crazy.
could-
That's
could be it, dude.
wild.
If I'm right, I'm gonna be so happy. But and then I have I'm not gonna say the finals yet because we'll save that, right?
Yeah, we'll
Right,
save
okay.
that.
So we'll save that. But Ryan, what do you got?
Ryan, go ahead.
All right, I got Phoenix versus Mavericks. Phoenix in 5. I think Mavs steal one game, but ultimately end up getting absolutely destroyed. Sorry, Drew.
I had. Wait a
then-
minute. Don't say sorry. I had Phoenix sweeping my team.
Yeah, you're right, but like in game 5, it's gonna be a blowout. All right, and then I got got Golden State versus Memphis. I got Golden State in 5, and then I have the Suns versus the Warriors, and I have the Suns in 7.
That's gonna be a good series. If that happens, I was just talking to someone about that at work. If Golden State and versus Phoenix is the Western Conference Finals, let me tune into every game because
Yeah.
that is a good series. I'm excited for this playoffs, y'all. This playoffs is
I
gonna
am
be
too.
really cool. It's been good so far, and it's gonna treat us well.
We're gonna have
Okay,
to get
so-
the guys together for some watch parties.
Absolutely.
And then we can maybe
We'll have to-
introduce some like content, for the channel. Like,
Yeah,
we could
yeah.
maybe have some special videos.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all stay tuned. But we've got some more. Got some more playoffs to talk about. So we've got now Miami versus Atlanta in the East. Heat versus Hawks. I've got the Heat in 5. I really don't think this is a huge contest. Atlanta's looked really crappy this season, and they're going to be without Capella probably for the whole first round. So Bam will probably eat the inside alive. And then other than that, I mean, I don't really see anything else that needs to occur. I mean, they beat them by like 30 in the first game. So,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's
pretty bad.
the Heat play a brand of defense that's almost unstoppable. So I just don't see it being a contest. Hawks win one game at home because, Trae Young will probably have his 40-point game and this and that. But I don't think other than that it's a contest. What about y'all?
You want me to go, Ryan?
Yeah, go for it.
We can just do we'll go like Drew, me, and then you, and then I put I don't know why I put Miami in 7, but I think I meant. There's no way I meant to do that because literally I remember Wallace filling it out. I was like, "There's no way Atlanta's gonna win this." So, you know what? I'll say what I put, Miami in 7. But in reality, I think, like you said, it's just there's no way. There's no way Atlanta's gonna win. Like, what did Trae Young? What was his stat line, dude? It was like
He missed. He was 0 for
bricked
7
up
from
that
3.
game. Wait, pause.
Yeah.
Gosh. Gosh, this podcast is sus. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm gonna say Miami in 7 because, you know what? Just maybe that's how it's meant to be. But yeah, what do you have, Ryan?
Miami in 4. Next question.
I respect it. 76ers
too.
versus Raptors. I have 76ers in 4.
Yep.
This series would typically be maybe a 5 or 6 game series, but because Joel Embiid injured the entire Toronto Raptors starting 5, I don't think it's going to be a contest. No, he seriously injured Gary Trent and Scotty Barnes. Obviously, he didn't mean to, but like it's just funny because he. But they have just too many injuries. Siakam's now the only one on the floor that they're just too young to win a playoff series. I don't know how they're the 5 seed. It's pretty interesting.
Milwaukee's or no, not Milwaukee. Who sat their starters? The Bulls were slated to play the Raptors, and then someone sat their starters, and we got screwed over.
No, well, Milwaukee, yeah. Milwaukee sat Giannis.
Yeah, and then
Y'all were supposed to play Boston.
Or yeah, Boston. That's what it was.
Yeah, y'all were supposed to play Boston.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. There was really no way y'all would play the Raptors unless you guys were a high seed.
That's fair.
But yeah, I just don't think. I think the Bulls would fare better against the Sixers than the Raptors would. I mean, like they're probably like if we're doing like a playoff power ranking, the Hawks are 16th.
Yeah.
The Raptors are 15th, and then yeah, so they're like the 2 worst teams. I think the Raptors are slightly better than the Hawks, especially with injuries. I think the Raptors are probably the worst team in the playoffs right now. Well, forget about New Orleans, but New Orleans is probably last. But I think that with the injuries, like I said, Scotty Barnes is out, Gary Trent's out. It's really not going to be. I mean, they just lost Scotty Barnes, who's their do-it-all, and then they lost a really, really good three-point shooter in Gary Trent. So,
yeah.
With the brand of defense that the Sixers play, I just don't think I don't think it's gonna be a contest.
Yep,
I think it'll be a clean sweep. Yeah,
I also
I
have a
got
clean sweep.
Sixers in 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now Bucks and Bulls, which I think even though the Bulls didn't play very good towards the end of the season, I think the series is actually solid. I think the series goes to 6, but I think the Bucks actually pull it out. Just because, I mean, the Bulls looked really, really good at the beginning of the season. Fizzled out because of injuries. Not their fault, but this series would go the Bucks' way either way. And here's why. Vucevic is the worst defender at the 5 in the entire league. And when you're playing against a guy like Giannis, an MVP candidate, and you have to defend him, and you're Nikola Vucevic, you're not going to win that matchup. Yeah, you're not going to win that matchup. Sure, like, they'll win some games. The Bulls will win a game or 2 at home, but... And that sucks, because I like the Bulls. Obviously, Ryan, you do too, but I like the Bulls. I think they'll get there eventually, but I don't think Vooch is their 5. I think they've got to switch the 5 out. Vooch is older.
Yeah.
I think you got to get a guy at the 5 who's going to play... I think you got to get someone at the 5 who plays better defense than he plays offense, because you have DeRozan, you have Levine who can create on offense. You don't need a 5 who can... get to the rim every play. You don't need that. That's not like a necessity. Now, if you have a guy who's playing excellent defense at the 5 and who's able to guard a guy like Giannis and keep him to under 30 points, then that's more of a win because then you have Levine and DeRozan who's going to create for you on the other end.
It's crazy that that's like the goal is to keep them under 30. Like that's crazy. That's how
we
good
kept
he
them
is.
under 30, but
How many times can you keep him under 30 though is the thing. Because who are
Especially
you
if he
rotating in
catches
at the
fire.
5?
well, Tristan Thompson.
Well,
But here's the thing.
He's
We
a better
don't
defender than
have-
Vooch.
Yeah, he's better.
We don't
But-
have Vooch We don't have Vooch guarding Giannis.
Right, you probably have what?
Pat will.
Pat Williams, yeah, at the
Yeah.
4. But still,
Most of the time
he's undersized to guard Giannis. Like you really can't have that for an entire series.
But they get that mismatch every time when they play the off-ball screen, and then they just have Caruso on Giannis, and it's not even fair.
Because Caruso's just too good, and Giannis can't score. Like,
Exactly.
Obviously, it's not fair for the Bucks.
dude, Lakers made such a big mistake trading him. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say
It
that.
truly is. It truly is, and that's not even like a joke too. Like Caruso's
like, actually.
Caruso's a really, really, really good glue guy, good defender, really tough, a legend, a goat, some might say. No, but he's actually like a really solid player, and yeah, I mean, that was a loss. You also miss Lonzo, I think, but the thing about that is like I don't think that's as important as guarding Giannis. Because
Yeah,
you
no.
have Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday is not the best on the offensive end. He's more of your defensive guy, which Lonzo, you miss Lonzo, but he's not going to change the series. It truly, I think, is crucial for the Bulls to get a 5 who can play good defense, or a 4. Pat Will's
Right.
great, but Pat Will's also kind of undersized for the 4. He's pretty tall, but I mean, I think he's probably more suited as a 3. Wouldn't you agree, Ryan?
He's also only 20 years old, so he's only gonna.
No, he's only going to get better. Absolutely. But even in that case, I mean, you still have to. I mean, this series is currently happening, and you still don't have someone who can contain Giannis. That's why, I mean, DeAndre Ayton, who is, decent defender, more of an offensive player, kind of like Vooch, but obviously not as bad of a defender. Giannis decimated him in the finals. So, like, it's almost impossible of a task. But if you want to get past Milwaukee, you have to either there's 2 ways to get past Milwaukee in the playoffs, and we've seen it. One, you got to play them later on because they're tired. Or 2, you got to have someone who can play some good defense on them. Bam Adebayo did it 2 years ago. But I just don't think Vooch is good, but I don't want to say he's overrated, but he's really one-dimensional in the sense that like he's really solid on the offensive end. That's another thing that the Bulls struggle with was 3-point shooting. You have Vooch taking 10 threes.
Why
Who
we
does he
need
think-
Lonzo?
Who does he think he is? Kristaps Porzingis? Like I don't understand why he's taking 10 threes. He was 2 for 10
It's
on his
terrible.
threes. In game 1. Like why? Like why is he shooting 10 threes? Why is your 5 shooting 10 threes? Anyway.
Yeah, like I don't even
It's-
know, like even giving him the chance, like I don't even get how he gets the ball that many times at the 3-point line. Like
Right.
that just doesn't make sense because there's a
It's-
difference between like having a completely open shot and like genuinely, I don't know, I haven't played basketball in a while, so and NBA is completely different than high school basketball, but like the rotations and everything, it shouldn't be revolved around a big man going and taking threes when he can't
Right.
when he's going 2 for 10. But then again, you could say the same thing like Trae Young. Literally, did he actually make 0 3-pointers?
He went
I
0
think
for
he did.
7, yeah.
Dude, so like all of us have the same percentage as Trae Young right now. And,
Correct. In the playoffs
That's
this
crazy.
year. Yep. But
I don't know
here,
exactly
Ryan,
what my point is, but
yeah, Ryan. Here's the thing, Vooch. If I'm the Bulls, I do not mind Vooch taking 4 to 5 threes a game, but 10
it's excessive.
and Levine went 2 for 10, which granted it's his first playoff game, but Levine's got to play better. And I say all this to say, Ryan, Andy, and everyone who's watching, I say all this to say, the Bulls have a shot, but there are a lot of things that they need to tune up. The Bulls are really good. They have a really good squad. I want to be wrong. I like both these teams, actually. In fact, I like both the Bucks and the Bulls. But you always root for the underdog. And the Bulls, I love DeRozan. And so the Bulls have a shot in 7, probably. But the Bulls have a shot. They've just got to clean some stuff up. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed.
Okay, last game in the first round, we got Boston versus Brooklyn. This is probably the best series even better than our in the finals. This is going to be the best series in the playoffs. And we saw it in game 1. Freaking Jason Tatum. That someone
I
was
can't
like,
believe that, dude.
dude, that's not luck. That's skill. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a top 10 player in the league. But this game is going to go down to the wire. Like, think of last year's Bucks and Nets. That's this year with the Celtics versus the Nets. And, yeah, I think this game goes to 7. I think the Nets barely squeeze it out just because Kyrie is playing so well. KD is playing so well, and this year I feel like the Nets are a better team than they were last year, even without Harden. I feel like they have a better squad. Ben Simmons is coming back.
Yep.
Drummond, who's one of the best board getters there's ever been. Seth Curry, who can create shots when Kyrie and KD can't. You got Dragic coming out the bench. You got Patty Mills coming out the bench. You have so many pieces. So does
They're
Boston.
stacked.
But they're more stacked than they were last season. And even last season, they were a shoe away from being in the conference finals. So, I've got Brooklyn in 7. I've got them squeezing out that last win. Probably 2 3-point game, if that.
I have the same thing. Also, I don't think I said for the Milwaukee and Chicago, I have Milwaukee in 7. I know you had it in 6, right?
Yeah, I'm Milwaukee in 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I have it at 7. So basically, like, same thing. Ryan, what did you have for that?
Milwaukee in 5.
Okay, yeah. So we all have Milwaukee. But I have Brooklyn in 7. I just think they're gonna pull out, especially with Kyrie. Like, dude, he's mad now. They made him mad. All the fans, like, you see the videos of him. Like,
oh yeah.
He also got fined $50,000 for like flipping them off.
And Kyrie responds. There's some people who don't respond to criticism well. Kyrie responds to criticism with 40+ point games. We've seen it in the past. So Kyrie is fueled by that. So I think he's gonna be insane in this series, especially.
100%. What do you have, Ryan?
So yeah, what do you have?
I
Ryan?
got Brooklyn in 7.
That seems to be the pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so second round, I have Miami versus 76ers, the Heat versus 76ers. I've got the 76ers eking it out in 6. I think and y'all will see, I like the 76ers a lot. And I think Joel Embiid is just unstoppable right now. And he's my MVP pick. That's spoiler alert. We're going to talk about that after this, but he's my MVP pick. And I think that, Bam's a great defender, but there's no stopping Embiid this season. He's on a mission. And now that you acquired Harden and you have a great defense, you've got guys who Tobias Harris is playing better. I just think Miami's kind of a fraudulent 1 seed, and I just think the Sixers will pull this one out in 6. Milwaukee versus Brooklyn, great series. I've got it going to 7. I think the Brooklyn Nets are going to pull it out. I think the Nets are going to pull it out. This time around, KD's foot isn't going to be over the edge. I think the Nets pull it out in 7. So that leaves in the Eastern Conference Finals, that leaves the 76ers and Nets. And at this point, I think the Nets are tired. And Harden has been historically takes things very personally. And I think the series will be personal for him. I've got 76ers in 5 because the Nets are so tired. Because the Nets are tired, you really have to think about realistic factors like that. The Nets are going to be tired after 2 7-game series and just are not going to be ready for that. So I've got the 76ers in 5. That leaves the 76ers versus the Suns in the finals. I think this one goes to 6. And I think the Suns are just too much for the 76ers, so I've got the Suns winning the finals in 6. So that's my East. What about you guys? Ethan, go for East.
Okay, so I also have Miami and Philadelphia in a series against each other. I have Miami in 7. I'm pretty sure that the 76ers are going to win, but I'm kind of like, I put a little bit of my bias in there. Like, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping Miami pulls out in 7, but in reality, you know what I mean? Like, I did put in Miami winning 7 because I don't know. I just really want them to. I don't like Embiid.
I forgot you're a Heat
Harden.
fan. I forget about that.
Yeah, no, I'm a Heat fan, so I kind of put in my bias a little bit, but I also have Milwaukee and Brooklyn, and I have Brooklyn in 6. I just have a feeling that they're just gonna take off, like with Kyrie and KD just going off.
I think so too.
Yeah, they're just gonna bounce off of each other, and I have them winning in 6, and then I have Miami and Brooklyn as the East Finals, and let's see, yeah, so Miami and Brooklyn. And
we're
I
on
Brooklyn
Dragic revenge game.
Yeah, I have Brooklyn in 6. I just think they're just gonna keep going, and then do you want me to say my finals or?
Yeah, go ahead and say your finals too.
And then I have Dallas and Brooklyn and I think
That's
Brooklyn
so
in
weird.
five.
What? I can't
Yeah,
even imagine that.
I see it. I don't know why. I see it, dude. I see it. And then I have Brooklyn in 5 though, because I just think that Brooklyn's just gonna like slowly
roll.
take fire. Yeah, but it's good that you brought up like if they have a bunch of 7-game series, like they're gonna be tired. That is gonna be,
They'll be so
so
tired,
tiring.
yeah.
Yeah, because like you don't think about it until like I don't know. Unless you play a sport that is like played in tournament style, like basketball players usually have like basketball tournaments every once in a while. Like I played tennis, and all of it was a tournament. Dude, it leaves you aching. And all these players who are like KD, Kyrie playing like 30 plus minutes, obviously, dude, to a 7-game series, that's insane. Your body is going to be dead. So you could be right with like them just tiring out, and then
Right. I think so.
you know, Milwaukee taking it. But what do you have, Ryan?
All right. So I have Miami and Philadelphia. I gotta agree with Drew. I got Philadelphia in 6. Then going down, Brooklyn versus Milwaukee. Gonna disagree with both of y'all. I got Milwaukee in 6.
Okay.
Interesting.
And then Sixers versus Milwaukee. I've got Milwaukee in 6 again. And so that leaves us with a repeat of last year's
The
finals.
rematch.
Wow.
And I have Milwaukee in 7.
Wow. The
Okay.
repeat. The repeat.
Okay.
So, then let me ask you guys. Now that we've got 1 Suns, 1 Nets, and 1 Bucks, who are your Finals MVPs? Y'all go first, or I'll go first. My Finals MVP is Devin Booker. That dude, like I said, MVP candidate. Joel Embiid, if the Sixers win, is the Finals MVP. Like
100%.
dude is good. This is my prediction in Drew's fantasy playoff world. Joel Embiid puts his heart into it, but it's just not enough. Devin Booker just goes off way too much. Ayton also. I mean, it's gonna be a tough matchup between him and Embiid. I think Embiid will win the matchup a little bit, but I think Booker's just too much of a match for Harden, who historically doesn't play defense. So I've got Devin Booker as my Finals MVP. Ethan, who's your Nets Finals MVP?
I have Kyrie Irving as my Finals MVP.
Wow.
I think he's just like, especially with all the trash talk he's getting, like people all over social media just blasting him. I think that he's gonna prove everyone wrong, and he's gonna get Finals MVP. And finally, like all the hate, you know, when people say like, oh, he's LeBron's son, like the only reason he got a championship is because of LeBron. Like that's finally gonna stop, and he's gonna just be the leading scorer, all this stuff, and like no one can have the argument on him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think. I think Kyrie.
Wow. What about you, Ryan? Probably Giannis.
I got 2 things. Yeah, it's either between Giannis or Chris Middleton. But just letting you know now that my computer's got 25 minutes left on the battery.
Oh, we'll be done before 25 minutes.
Yeah, all right. Well, I have either Giannis or Chris Middleton. Or I guess for a sleeper, you could say Drew Holiday, but I don't see that happening, so we'll go with Giannis.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
Okay. So now about the award ceremonies, right? So Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year. Good for him. Clap. Good for him. Hometown guy. Grew up in Flower Mound. Went to Marcus. Little tidbit of information for you. My dad reffed him. Shout out, Dad. You always tell me about that. So, reffed Marcus Smart. Got to shake his hand, something like that. I don't really remember exactly. But that's pretty cool. See him win Defensive Player of the Year. And I love it. I think he wasn't my pick, but good for him. You know, guards, I feel like guards just don't get enough respect for the defense they have to play. He has to go out there and guard Kyrie Irving. He has to go out there and guard some of the best players in the world every single night and does a freaking good job at it. Like, you have your worst night against Marcus Smart. He's not the best on the offensive end. He's, in my opinion, probably not a starting point guard in the league. He does start, but I don't think he's Celtics starting, number 1. But that doesn't go to say that he shouldn't be the 6th man and shouldn't win this award, because he absolutely deserves it. Great for him. Now, 3 other candidates that I thought, deserved it, and I think that they got votes. McCall Bridges, Giannis, and Jaren Jackson Jr. My pick was Jaren Jackson Jr. just because he contributed so much to that team, especially when Ja was out. Bro's getting boards, blocking the crap out of people. In my opinion, he deserved it because Memphis had so much success, and Boston did too. But Jaren Jackson, just looked so good as a young star. Bridges, I saw a lot of stuff that Bridges deserved it. Obviously, Giannis, plays a brand of defense that no one else can. But ultimately, Marcus Smart pulled it out. What do you guys have to say about that?
I think that Marcus Smart is what Patrick Beverley dreams of being because he's actually a good defender. He's not just like, I'm sorry, I do not like Patrick Beverley. Like I just
don't
don't.
either.
Like people.
He's a
people
great
think,
defender,
like,
but
yeah, like I
he's
just
scrappy.
he's very hyped because he's just like half of the time he's just out there running. Like his stat line, and I get like he's a defensive player, but like sometimes he'll go just like 0-0-0-0. Like it's just like I don't know. He's just such an annoying player on and off the court. And Marcus Smart actually, like you said, he's like being forced to defend against all these guys without just like fouling the crap out of them and trash talking in their face. You know, like what Patrick Beverley does.
Right.
He actually is a really like good defender. Obviously, like he wouldn't get nominated for nothing. You know, I think it's deserved. I think obviously like Giannis, you know what I mean, like Rudy Gobert, like all the typical big
Gobert
guys
too,
who are
yeah.
usually like the typical candidates. Obviously they're in there. Like they're all, I don't know. I feel like all those guys are automatically in the list. So it is cool to see a guard like be in that list. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know. I think it's deserved, but I definitely think that there are, like you said, I agree with your other candidates. Like those are definitely potential candidates, but it's definitely deserved.
Right, you Ryan.
I'll just agree and we can move on.
Okay.
You guys know I don't know too much.
Okay. Last thing, award predictions. MVP, Sixth Man of the Year, Most Improved Player. Give me some award predictions. We'll do MVP last because, you know, it's more fun that way. Let's start with Most Improved Player. Who's y'all's Most Improved Player? And then I'll go last.
There's
I wanna hear
only one
y'all's.
person it can be.
False,
DeMar
but I know
DeRozan?
you're thinking of.
Is that what you're gonna say?
What'd you say, Ethan?
DeMar DeRozan?
No.
Oh, I thought that's
Not
what
at
you were gonna
32.
say.
I got Ja.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually don't know who I have for like most improved. I don't know. I almost want to say Lonzo because Lonzo had such a complete
But
turnaround.
he
and
didn't
he's
play
actually,
enough.
Yeah, he didn't
no,
play
you're
enough.
right. You're right. I feel like if he would have like finished out, like played the whole season or whatever, he definitely would be, because he has taken a complete, like his jump shot, everything is like, he doesn't do that like complete. You know what I'm talking about? Like where he shoots completely from the side. I don't know. I think that he's definitely, if he did play the whole season, I don't have a, I guess I wouldn't have a pick for that because I don't know. But if y'all think Ja, can y'all explain why?
Yeah, I think Ja. Yeah, so in my opinion, it's Ja Morant. He takes a step up every year, but the step he took this year, dude took a leap, like a big one. And I really can't think of anyone else who even took remotely that big of a leap besides one I think of is Desmond Bane. He played really, really good this season, but Ja went from star to superstar to arguably face of the league. Like, dude is so good and so, I mean, he's so talented, but he took his talents to another level and he led his team. Here's the thing. He led his team to 56 wins and he banded his team together and they won 13 games without him. He missed 15 games, by the way. They won 13 games without him. And I you know, you're like, oh, he was out. I attribute that to him. He's a leader. Not many teams can do that. Like, you really think about it. And you see it with Luka, too. Luka, you know, is on the sideline cheering on his team, and they won last night. Jalen Brunson had 41 points. I really think you can attribute some of that to Ja Morant. And I'm segueing that into something also. Taylor Jenkins, the Grizzlies coach, bet you never heard of him before, but his team won 56 games this season. He's a young guy. I think he's the coach of the year, especially if the Grizzlies go far in the playoffs.
No, yeah, that's valid.
Yeah. Okay. So next, Rookie of the Year. This one's an interesting one because you got a few candidates. Who's y'all's Rookie of the Year?
Ryan, I want to hear yours first. I'm curious.
Yeah, let's hear it, Ryan.
I'll just go with the popular one.
The popular one.
Evan Mobley. No,
I agree
not your popular one?
because he's the walking triple double. I would say Scotty Barnes, but his injury, unfortunately, he missed some time, and he's now going to miss more time. So Evan Mobley, like, here's the thing about Scotty Barnes. There's really a conversation for Scotty Barnes being Rookie of the Year because He was top 5 in every rookie category, that being points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, you name it, he was top 5. And that's really impressive. That really just shows you he's a jack of all trades. But Evan Mobley was so good at his craft and took his team to such another level, and was the final piece it took to make your team from a lottery team to a playoff contender, a play-in contender, whatever you want to call it. They went from being arguably the worst team in the league to a middle of the pack team, and that's pretty impressive just off one player.
Oh yeah,
I think Evan Mobley is the rookie of the year, but
I'd have to
like
agree.
I said, Scotty Barnes has a real case, and so does Cade Cunningham. I just don't feel like Cade Cunningham had a good enough beginning of the season to warrant. If he played in the beginning of the season like he did in the first half and last half, if he played like that the entire season, he's rookie of the year. Like, it's not a contest because he's averaging almost 20 points a game as a rookie. But Evan Mobley was just took his team, and he was such a good defender. You can't score on him. Like, he was just so good. He did literally everything. He had a good field goal percentage. It was over 50%. He was a decent three-point shooter at that. I mean, he didn't like make a whole lot or shoot a whole lot, but he can do that, and he can play defense on you every night of the week. So I think Evan Mobley, I agree.
Yeah.
He almost averaged a double-double, by the way. 15 points and 8.
Wow.
6 man of the year. I'm gonna say Tyler Hero. I know that's kind of like the. I know that's kind of the. It's a consensus pick, but it should be. I mean, his team was the number one team. I mean, if you have Kyle Lowry starting, and then okay, Kyle, time to sit, and Tyler Hero comes in, and he's arguably your best player on the floor. It's ridiculous.
He averaged 20 points off the bench.
That's crazy, dude.
Yep.
That's
Insane.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't really think that's even a conversation.
Yeah.
25 and 4. That's crazy.
That's crazy. Last thing, MVP. There's 3 guys that come to mind, and I've already said who I think. 3 guys come to mind though: Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and Giannis. You could make an argument for LeBron, but they didn't make the playoffs, so that's usually a thing that they factor into it. So I think Joel Embiid, just because he was so dominant this season. Sure, he missed some time, but he was just so 30 plus points, had the best season of his career by a mile. Played better defense than I felt like was expected, sure. Jokic didn't play as good. He played better defense than Jokic. There's multiple reasons why I think that Joel Embiid almost averaged a triple double. Well, not a triple double, but he averaged a double double by a landslide. Averaged 2 blocks a game, 31 points, 12 rebounds. I'm looking at the stats here. Was actually a really good free throw shooter, which is pretty impressive for a big man. And took his team to another level. And especially if they make it far into the playoffs, I think it's an uncontested scoring champion. As a 5, he was a scoring champ.
It's crazy.
Insane.
I'm with you though.
I agree. 100%.
I'm gonna change it up, but I just kind of I don't want us to say all the same stuff, but I think it kind of everyone is on the same page with Embiid. He's just crazy. I think the playoffs do matter though, so we're gonna have to see how the rest of it plays out. But if I had to say another pick, I'd say Giannis, because obviously Giannis is just a beast, and we'll see. I guess I don't know. I feel like Giannis would just have to do the absolute most to really compete in these.
It's
playoffs.
not out of the question for him.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Still a possibility, but I think if I had to, bet my life on it, I'd say Embiid 100%.
Yeah. And like I said, there's also a case for Jokic. He's a center like we've never seen.
Right.
He is just insane. His stats were comparable to Embiid's, and he has the assists. In fact, I think he was really close to averaging a triple-double. And as a center, that is just,
unheard of.
Unheard of. 27 points, 14 rebounds, and 8 assists. Unheard of. And there's a case for Jokic. I'm playing devil's advocate here. There's a case for Jokic, and I would not be shocked if he won it. But my pick is Embiid. If I was voting in the NBA, it's Embiid.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much the The consistent. How do you say it?
Consensus.
Consensus.
Yeah.
Consist. Yeah, I
All
can't
right.
say it like a bunch of words, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's it, right?
Yeah, that's all we have for you guys today. So next week, be prepared. We have a mock draft coming out. It's going to come out draft day. And I think we're going to talk about it, but I think we might have a draft video coming out to where it's like you're watching our live reactions, and obviously not for the whole time, but we might go live or something like that. So y'all just stay tuned. And
I'll also have a
we'll-
camera. I'll have a camera.
Ryan will have a camera next week. So
Yeah. Not
Stay
the
tuned.
Screenshot on the screen.
stay tuned. Stay excited for the mock draft. And if you guys have any ideas, I think we put a questionnaire up on Instagram. If y'all have any ideas of any shows we want us to make, or have any ideas for any future episodes, please let us know. We are open to anything. We're looking for ideas. You know, when we're willing to stray a little bit from the typical format. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know. All right, and we'll see you guys next week. Get ready for that mock draft, and happy draft week. See you guys later.
Peace.